Hello, namaste. Welcome back to Bhagavatam for Rationalists. My name is Kamalakar Gulukota, and in this episode 40 of our 7-day web series, we're going to talk about the 16,008 wives that Krishna had. So, we saw that he married Rukmini, and after Rukmini, Krishna also married many other women. Let's start that with Satrajit, who was a wealthy citizen of Dwaraka, and he owned a jewel called the Syamantaka Mani or Syamantaka Jewel. So, Satrajit's Syamantaka Jewel was a magical gift given by the god Sun himself to Satrajit. Satrajit had it in his home, and it is said that this jewel was so powerful it produced 8 bars of gold each and every day. Krishna suggested that such prosperity giving thing, it's better if it is in the royal treasury rather than being in the hands of a private person. And Satrajit, of course, mocks him and says, "Yeah, of course, you'll say that because, well, it doesn't belong to you." And you'll say, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead and give it." But, it's mine. I'm not going to give it. So Satrajit refuses that. And Krishna just accepts it and says, "Okay, fine, whatever." So one day, Prasena, who was Satrajit's son, wears the Shamantaka jewel around his neck in a necklace and goes out on a hunting expedition. During that hunt, he is killed by a lion. And at this point in the story, we meet with Jambavan. We didn't cover this much detail in our story of Rama, but Jambavan is a famous warrior from the Ramayana. He had a major role to play when Rama was building the bridge to go from Rameshwaram to Lanka, and he was part of Rama's army when they were fighting. Rama's Vanara army, the army of monkey tribes, was fighting Ravana's sophisticated technological and magical army. So Jambavan was one of the major warriors in Rama's army. Anyhow, Jambavan, you can think of this particular Jambavan as a next incarnation of that Jambavan from Ramayana because that was a long time ago. But anyhow, this Jambavan, he slays the lion that killed Prasena, and he sees that the lion has the Shamantaka jewel in its teeth. He brings the jewel back to his cave and gives it to his daughter, whose name was Jambavati. The picture you see here is actually a cave called Jambavan Cave. It's near Porbandar in Gujarat, and you see it has, Shivalingas and pujas performed every day and so forth. So back in Dwaraka, Krishna is suspect because he had suggested that Satrajit give the Shamantaka jewel to the royal treasury. uh, Satrajit therefore accuses him, saying that Krishna is the one that stole the jewel, and Krishna is the one who perhaps even killed my son and hid his body to hide the crime. So Krishna, of course, cannot tolerate this. He sets out to clear his name, and through some sleuthing and detective work, he follows Prasena's trail to the Jambavan cave. And at that time, Krishna sees that the Shamantaka jewel is in Jambavan's cave, asks him for it. Jambavan refuses, and therefore Krishna and Jambavan fight each other in a wrestling match for 28 days, at the end of which Jambavan realizes that Krishna is in fact a reincarnation of Rama himself. Rama, his beloved God and his beloved Lord, his beloved boss, for whom he spent so much effort and blood in his previous birth. So Jambavan then stops fighting and offers Krishna the jewel and thanks Krishna for fighting him. See, what happened in the Ramayana was Jambavan saw the valor and courage and the fighting spirit that Rama brought to the war, and said, "Oh Lord, it would be great if I was able to fight you. That kind of fight would be fun." Rama told him, "Well, we are allies. We are not going to fight, but maybe in the next life we will." It may have been a joke that Rama said, but in any event, in the next birth, Rama's next birth being Krishna, and I'm sorry, yes, Rama's next birth being Krishna, and Jambavan's next birth being this Jambavan, that particular wish that Jambavan had is fulfilled. And along with the jewel, Jambavan also offers his daughter Jambavati to Krishna. He says that I have been raising her on the stories of Rama. She has been in love with Rama ever since she was a little child. And now that you are the reincarnated Rama, she would be very happy if you marry her. So Krishna accepts the jewel as well as the bride, and this is a picture of that scene inside Jambavan cave. Anyhow, Krishna accepts the bride as well as the jewel and comes back to Dwaraka, and he returns the jewel to Satrajit. Satrajit is filled with remorse because he had accused Krishna for no reason. So he offers his daughter, his own daughter, whose name is Satyabhama. He offers Satyabhama to Krishna as his third wife, and he also offers the jewel. Krishna accepts Satyabhama but says, I am not going to accept your jewel because I asked once and you said no, and that's the end of it. So we have the three wives that Krishna has. He marries five more. So Kalindi was the daughter of the sun god. She did a penance, and her boon when Krishna appeared in front of her was that she would be his wife, and Krishna married her to fulfill that boon. Mitravinda was another princess who had a Swayamvaram, and Krishna was present at the Swayamvaram, and Mitravinda chose Krishna to be her husband, so he married her. Nagnajiti was another princess who had seven very strong bulls in her household, and she took a vow that she would only marry the man who is able to tame those seven strong bulls. Many kings and princes from all over the world came by, but city slickers and raised in the lap of luxury as they were, none of them was able to tame these seven strong bulls. In the end, when Krishna came there, he having grown up around cows and buffaloes and bulls all the time during his childhood, he was in fact able to tame those seven bulls, and therefore Nagnajiti married him. Krishna later on also married Bhadra, who was the princess of Kekaya kingdom, and Lakshana, who was the princess of the Madra kingdom. Thus, Krishna had eight wives: Rukmini, Jambavati, Satyabhama, Kalindi, Mitravinda, Nagnajiti, Bhadra, and Lakshana. It is said that these eight wives represent actually the eight Ashta Lakshmis, or the eight Lakshmis. Remember, Lakshmi is the wife of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntham. So on earth, Krishna's eight wives represent the Ashtalakshmis, or the eight kinds of wealth one might have. Those are Dhanalakshmi, Dhanyalakshmi, Dhairyalakshmi, Vijayalakshmi, Bhagyalakshmi, Vidyalakshmi, Varalakshmi, and Santanalakshmi. Dhanalakshmi is for money. Dhanyalakshmi means grain or food. Dhairyalakshmi is courage so that we can go forward and pursue what we want. Vijay Lakshmi is victory in actually getting what we pursued. Bhagya Lakshmi is luck or fortune. Vidya Lakshmi is maybe the most important of all these wealths, and that is learning or education. Vara Lakshmi is boons. So if you go and try to persuade someone, they do get persuaded and give you the boon. That kind of fortune is called Vara Lakshmi. And finally, Santana Lakshmi is having children so that we may, you know, propagate our Vamsham. So those are the Ashtalakshmis, and Krishna's eight wives are supposed to be representative of the Ashtalakshmis. So now, apart from those eight, Krishna also ended up marrying 16,000 more women. That came about because there was an Asura called Narakasura who imprisoned 16,000 princesses. Krishna found this intolerable tyranny. He demanded that Narakasura release them, but he did not, and therefore Krishna declared war on him. As he was going to war, Satyabhama joins in the fighting. Krishna tries to stop Satyabhama with these memorable words. Lema danujula geluvaga lema, నీవేల కడగి లేచితి విటురా లేమానుమానవేనిన్ లేమా విల్లందుకొనుము లీలన్ గేలన్. Milady, can't I win by myself? Why did you come by? You don't have to fight. Please stop. But then he says, because she's not listening, Krishna continues and says, all right, okay, if that's what you want, if you insist on taking part here, take my bow and arrow into your beautiful hands. And then this is Satyabhama's fierce fighting. జావల్లీ ధ్వని గర్జనంబుగ సురల్ సారంగయూధంబుగాన్ ఆవిల్లింద్ర శరాసనంబుగ సరోజాక్షుండు మేఘంబుగా తా విద్యుల్లత భంగి ఇంతి సురజిద్దావాగ్ని మగ్నంబుగా ప్రావృట్కాలము చేసే బాణచయమంభశీకర శ్రేణిగాన్. So she dropped short arrows as plentiful as raindrops during the monsoon, Satya did. But Potana is not satisfied by giving such a simple simile, even if it is a hyperbole. He adds other things to show that it is, in fact, like the rainy season. So the bow string vibrates as she is shooting her arrows. It vibrates and produces sound that sounds like thunder. The bow itself looks like rainbow because Satya had decorated it with beautiful flowers and various colors. And it also works well because rainbow in Sanskrit and in Telugu is known as Indra Dhanussu, or the bow of Indra. So this bow is like Indradhanusu, or like the rainbow, with the Dark Lord Krishna himself as a dark cloud, and herself Satyabhama as a slim lady, a lightning in front of that dark cloud. The lady then extinguished the wildfire of Naraka's army. Naraka's army is like a wildfire because this wildfire was consuming the devas, and rainy season, of course, suppresses the wildfire, and Satya's arrows, like the rainy season, suppressed Naraka's army. Beautiful, beautiful simile. But anyhow, um, Narakasura is killed, Naraka's army is defeated, and the 16,000 princesses who were in his jail were released, but they all fall in love with Krishna. They claim that they have nowhere to go because society will stigmatize them, just like Ayodhya society stigmatized Sita. They say, we have nowhere to go, and therefore each one of these ladies proclaims herself Krishna's wife. భూనాథోత్తమ కన్యకల్ వరుస నంభోజాత నేత్రుండు నన్నే నవ్వెన్ తగజూచెడగ్గరియ వర్ణించెన్ వివేకించె సమ్మానించెన్ గరుణించె పేరడిగి సన్మార్గంబుతో పెళ్ళియౌ నేనే చక్రికి దేవినంచు తమలో నిర్ణీతలైరందురు. O Emperor Parikshit, Shuka is saying, each of these 16,000 girls said, Krishna had his eyes only on me. He smiled at me. He honored me. He asked my name. Yes, I am in fact his wife. They all confirmed thus. So Krishna honored them all. He proclaimed that each one of them is his wife and took them all back to Dwarka. And that is how Krishna ended up having 16,000 wives apart from the 8 main wives that he had. So it is time in the Yadava clan for Krishna's sister also to get married. We saw Balarama get married, Krishna get married many times. Now it's time for Krishna's sister Subhadra also to get married. We will cover that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for your attention so far.